win. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing, man? Ooh. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing okay. We got a special show in store for everybody, man. I hope you guys are ready. I don't even think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready. I'm trying to get pumped up. I need some pumps. I need you guys to pump me up. I need some likes. Everybody give me a like. Give us some likes. Give the channel some likes. We need some likes because when we see the likes, we feel special, like something special is happening. You know how we do. You know how we do it. If you guys are just joining us, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. It is easy and it is free. That is right. And everybody loves free things. Today, we got a special guest for you guys, man. I don't even think you guys are ready. We got a special guest in the building. We got B-Boy Marlon. I don't even know if he actually uses the word B-Boy in front of his name, but we got Marlon from HaviKoro. That is right. We got Marlon from HaviKoro. Now, you guys are ready for this? What is your favorite Marlon battle? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, Marlon just had an exhibition battle with Tails. Oh, spicy. He just had a battle with Tails, man. You know, just for the young cats, if you're a young cat, if you're like a 9 or 10-year-old kid and you have no idea who Marlon is, man, let me remind you guys who Marlon is. Hold on, let me rewind this. This is an old clip. I don't know if he's gonna like me playing this. This is an old clip. You know how we get with old clips. Like, oh man, I don't like that footage. But we all love it. So let's just take a look at Marlon and just take a little trip down memory lane. Marlon, what you got? The thing with Marlon, and I don't know if you guys remember this, every time you seen Marlon out and about, man, he was getting busy. He was always battling somebody. That is one guy, him and his whole crew, actually. But Marlon was one of those dudes that you seen in a cypher, you almost were a little scared. You didn't even want to step in there, right? When you seen him, he was serious. He was looking at you. He was like, yo, Marlon, chill, Marlon. Let us breathe, Marlon. Let us breathe. Whoa. And he always had style, right? When you looked at Marlon, he always looked fresh. He always had a fresh hat. He was always flexing on everybody. You know why? Because he probably had a job and he had money. And he's like, yo, let me look fresh out here, man. I'm sorry. If you guys are wearing gray sweats at jams, I'm sorry. If you're wearing gray sweats and dirty shoes, I'm sorry, yo. Especially when you got them gray sweats with the sweat stains. Oh, stop playing. This one is dedicated. That's right. Do you guys remember any legendary Marlon battles? Any legendary HaviKoro battles? If you guys want me to ask about anything, please let us know in the chats down below. I have a question myself. Y'all remember Rocksteady, that in the ship, in the Queen Mary, that battle? I think it was a HaviKoro battle. Oh, I think it was. I think I do remember Marlon battling in that. Was it? Am I tripping? I'm not too sure. Should we ask him? We need to ask him. Chill, Marlon. Yo, Marlon had everything, man. Marlon was on the floor. He was in the air. He was doing flips. He had power. He had style. Marlon was everywhere. I love it. This is old school right here. This is at the Alexandria Hotel in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though. But is that a tattoo? Marlon, you got tattoos, Marlon? What is that tattoo right there? Let me see. I can't zoom in. What is that? I'm going to have to ask him about that. We're going to have to ask him about his tattoos. Uh-oh, we got somebody else in the building on all that. All right, all right, all right, all right. Are you guys ready for Marlon, man? I think it's time to get Marlon in me here. How's everybody? Yo, Z, what's good, Z? Yo, Z, send me a commercial so I could play it in the show, man. Send me a commercial so I could play it in the show. Zulu versus HaviKoro. Shamrock, what's good, Shamrock? How you feeling out here? We should ask him about Zulu versus HaviKoro. Ooh, when was the first time you seen Marlon? Let me know in the comments down below. The first time I seen Marlon was probably on a VHS tape. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I got Marlon in the house. Marlon, B-boy legend. Marlon is definitely a b-boy legend. He has had legendary battles in the cypher and in competitions, and he's had legendary one-on-one exhibitions. So shout outs to him. Marcus, aka Two Sweets. Yo, New York's in the building. What's good, New York? How you feeling out here? Prince of Freezes. Ooh, we're gonna ask him how he feels about that term, the Prince of Freezes. All right, man. You know what? Without any further ado, I think it's time to get this party started, man. I think it's time to get the party started. I think we're a little bit 6 minutes in. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody feeling? Everybody like the video? Are you guys ready? Is it time to start the show? I think let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We got the one, the only
Let's go.
Marlon HaviKoro. Ooh,
Buenos
look at this.
dias. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, man. Good morning. How you're looking good, man.
I am yes, I feel good. Like I'm a morning person. I became a morning person.
That's
So,
right.
and I brought out the Kango beret for you guys because
I know.
I man, I'm such a fan of the dress code, man. So,
That's right.
yeah, good morning. How's everyone doing?
Man, how you doing, man? Where are you at right now? Is this your office? Is this your
Yeah,
house?
this is my home office, man. I literally we bought our forever home and I get one room out of a 4,000 square foot home. I get one fucking room. And
Yo, isn't that
so I love my office so much, man.
that's right, that's right. And are you a collector of paintings? Are those
Oh
prints? Are
yeah,
those originals? What are those?
this so we did a tour of India, man, and I ran into this amazing artist out there and I spent like all the money I made in India in these paintings. My wife was like, "So you came back with nothing." And this is my latest book covers to my anthologies. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh,
The guy who did my prints for the anthology does the all the art for us in City Limits. Man, let me show you around.
wait, slow down. Did you say anthology? Are you, what do you mean? You write books?
I'm a writer, man. So look, these are my anthologies, man. This guy,
Wow.
yeah, he's a famous printmaker,
Wow.
and this is my show, my Spanglish Hip Hop Star. This is my theater show. Uh,
Wow.
So this is my first big accolade. This I don't know if you can see this. This is the John P. McGovern Award, and I got this for literature. And
Wow.
yeah, man, and dude, I'm very proud of these right here. Like this is an artist from New York, and he did New York out of tin.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. Like
Oh, those are fresh.
I had to wait 9 months for these, and I paid them beforehand, so it was like very scary to me. I'm like, yo, that's a lot of money to pay, and I hope you get it. And I'm very proud of this one
Yo.
right here. This is an actual propaganda poster from El Salvador,
Oh, that's
and
right.
these
That's
are
right.
yeah. So these are this is a very important piece to me. But also, This is actually when I won these are one of my lectures, and this when I won the John P. McGovern Award, and it's just so special to me, man. And this my dog is a bull terrier. This guy does art of nothing but just bull terriers, and so I had to get it. And yeah, man, I
Nice.
just love art. I let show me your papers.
Yo, how much do you spend on
So,
framing?
oh man, you have to frame it.
You
You
gotta
have to
frame
frame
it.
it.
That's like half the battle.
I I tell people all the time, it's just like the frame sells the art. You know what I mean? And like, especially like as I give talks to young entrepreneurs and especially young b-boys, man. I just tell them like, you're the frame, man. You're the frame. So you have to frame your art, like however you do.
Wow.
You're the frame. So yeah.
Wow. That's deep, man.
Good
That's deep,
morning.
man.
Good morning, man. Buenos
Good
dias.
morning to you, man. Good morning to you. We are here. We are alive. It is Monday. It is
Yeah,
Moon Day. And we got you
we're
on the channel,
celebrating.
man. We got you on the channel. We
Yes.
got a lot to talk about. I got questions from everybody. I got some questions of my own. And we're going to
Yeah.
take a trip down memory lane,
Let's do it.
right? So let's start from the beginning, man. Let's start from
Yeah.
the beginning, from the beginning. I don't know whether we should start from your life because I think your life is interesting enough. But maybe
Yeah.
we should start with the break life. When was the last time, or the first time actually? Let's start backwards. When is the first time or your first breaking memory?
Um, Man, there's this. Damn. I want to preface this by saying I'm an immigrant, and I say that very proudly. I say that in the most empowering way. I came to the U.S. when I was 9 years old, and also I came to the U.S. Straight into poverty. Houston is, I mean, if you're from LA, I mean, it resembles those things where if you show me your zip code and I'll tell your life, you know. And we lived in one of those zip codes and those railroad tracks that you never cross because once you cross it, you're literally on your own. You know what I mean? And so your neighborhood becomes your little island. The reason I say this is because I really want to show. I always want to talk about the power, like just the power of breaking for me, simply because it was so powerful that I left my comfort zone. And sometimes struggle, struggle becomes a comfort blanket, and struggle will keep you in the same place. So when I first saw breaking, I remember it was some school friends, and they were doing it, and they were doing it horrible. there was nothing there was nothing dope about what they were trying to do, but like to me, like the attempt was there, and I'm at the age where I remember Kung Fu Theater. I don't know if you remember Kung Fu Theater. It was
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
Sunday they would show a Kung Fu movie, and I was such a fan of it, and that was like the closest thing that I kind of saw to it. Well, anyways, I saw these guys doing it, and I literally asked them what it was called, and they said it was breakdance, and I fell in love, man.
Ooh.
And then after that, man, I became a fan. I became obsessed with it, a little too obsessed with it, because I'm also an academic. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, but it literally took over my life. Like I've been a straight A student since day one. But like it literally just took over my life. So when you become obsessive about it, it's just you have nowhere to go but get really good because it bothers you if you're not. So yeah, that was my
Yeah.
first experience.
Okay, so when where were you when you first saw them? Was this at school? Was this in the streets, in the neighborhood? Where
No,
was it?
some dangerous ass apartment complexes. These kids
Oh, okay.
and they had stolen an old carpet, I guess, from some apartment, and they were literally practicing outside, and I just walked into it, and I was
Wow.
like, "Yo, like, what do you?" That's
Wow.
like staph infection heaven. But
Yeah, 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 yeah.
but
And do you
I just found
remember?
it so dope.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think everybody would find it dope, right? Especially when you're a kid watching other kids involved in
Oh
something.
yeah.
Do you remember visually what you first saw? Was it somebody on their hands? Was it somebody on their like doing a backspin? Like, what do you remember anything like that?
Do you remember that moves, the spring where you jump back and
Yes,
come
yes,
back up and
yes.
jump? That was the first big move that I saw, and
Okay.
I was like, wow, like it was just boom. It wasn't windmills, it wasn't it was that move. And
Yeah.
I remember getting it, and I was like, yo, like it was
Yeah.
crazy. It was
Now,
crazy to me. It was,
were you always athletic as a kid? Were you playing sports, or did breaking get you to be more athletic than you were? What were your well? How was your upbringing in that sense?
well, I tell people like, I, how old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, well, that's perfect. That's so perfect. I think me and you are probably on the same wavelength. But I tell people that if you're a certain age, and we grew up outside, like we
Yeah.
grew up, I mean, I have scars. Like I tell my son all the time, like at a certain age, you have to knock out. You got to have a fight under your belt. You got to have
Yeah.
scars under
Yeah.
your,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
do.
My son got in his first fight in sixth grade with his best friend. And I told him, I'm like, I'm proud of you. He got his
Yeah.
ass whooped. He got his ass whooped, but that's the best thing because I told him there's some people you can talk to and there's some people you can't talk to. You learn that
Yeah.
lesson, but we spent our life outside. We drank from the water hose, and it wasn't in the terms of being athletic or not. It was in the terms of you were always trying everything, and I that's the best way I can do it. I can say that because we were just kids of the sun, man. Like when the sun came up, you were outside and you spent your day at the park running around on your bike. So I don't know if it's more about athleticism, and it was just more about just discovery. It's just that
Mm.
curiosity. And we were kids. We were kids being kids, and we just would try everything. We didn't give a shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you remember how old you were when you first started seeing these kids outside in the building?
13, 14.
So you were like in middle
Yeah.
school. You
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah,
you knew
yeah,
what's up. You knew what's up. Do you remember the type of
yeah.
music you started dancing to, or do you remember if they were listening to music, what they were listening to?
Oh man, everything was gang related over here. uh, Everything. I mean, I didn't know the term. So I couldn't distinguish what was hip hop and what was, kind of like gangster music. And I Southern hip hop, like you grew up around DJ Screw, and I don't know if you're familiar with that kind of music, but it's just very gangster music, and everything here was at that time in the '90s. It was just straight up gangster, and I mean LA would be the same. I mean, it's just you couldn't escape it. The first experience I had with actual hip hop music, I really want to say it was that song "Take a Rest" by Gangstar. And
Mm.
if you're familiar with that song, it has this bass line of doo 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 doo, and I was like, what is it? Like hearing Guru for the first time, hearing his monotone voice and his delivery, I was like, yo, I knew it was different. I knew it was rap.
Is
That's
that
it.
it?
Yes. Yes,
Yo.
yes, and I mean, I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know how to even take it because it was so different. And then, for some reason, Cypress Hill came into my life.
Cypress
Uh,
Hill?
yeah, man, Cypress
What is
Hill,
that? Is
and,
that a
and
oh Cypress Hill?
Cypress Hill, yeah, and Cypress Hill came into my life, and that became the soundtrack for my breaking. Man, it just made sense to me, and I think because they were Cubans, and I don't know, what it was about that I just connected to them, and then all of a sudden it opened up all these doors as far as like hip hop, Diggable Planets. I heard Nas for the first time, Boogie Down Productions. It's just I fell in love with and became obsessed with finding new music all the time, and I loved it, man. I mean, it was just like it was everything to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Music's man important. And same thing with me, right? Growing up, I didn't know what b-boying or breaking music or hip hop. It was just we listened to Mac 10, we listened to just gangster music, and I used to dance to gangster music all day. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
it wasn't until like '99 when I started really realizing what breaking music was, or didn't breaking music even exist back then? I have no idea. Everything was hip hop. Now
Yeah,
we got music
yeah,
that's not hip hop. It's
yeah.
just sounds.
I do want to say that hip hop did educate me as much as influence me. NWA I'm a writer, so when I was 13, 14, I started writing as well. So I'm very blessed and very proud to say that I wrote the whole time I've been breaking.
Oh,
And so when I heard NWA, man, and tell their stories of struggles. See, I was very blessed to be able to have gotten past the shock value of things. And so I remember when they were talking about police brutality and things like that, like I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening here. These guys are telling our story. And
yeah.
I just, for some reason, man, I just had to document things, and it became poetry, short stories, and I just would write. I just would write, man.
Damn. I'm gonna rewind it back a little bit and go back to the building where you saw these kids dancing in front with a carpet.
Yeah.
Once you saw them dancing, did you join their group? Did you just see them and started doing your own thing? What was the next step after you seen them?
I became friends with them, and I just became their leader. I uh, I became, yeah. I kind of I've always had this. My mom taught me great lessons, man. She says, talk to people like you've known them for a year. So you're comfortable with them, but you're not too comfortable. But at the same time, it allows you to ask questions. And so I just would apply that to everything, man. My one of my greatest teachers is my mom, man. And so she would give me all these little like gems, and I would execute it, and just became friends with these guys. And then those guys led me to the hub of like Houston practice, and it was a place called YA, which stood for Youth Advocates, and it was an
Okay.
old ugly brown building, and that's where I met Havoc. That's where I met Koro. That's when all the Chaos Crew. That's what United people. It's like all the crews will get together in this place. And the beautiful thing about this place is like for the first time there was no gang representation. Like people were wearing all different color rags, and nobody cared. Like people just went there to break and
Yeah.
practice. And to me, man, Thursday became my Sunday. It became my holy day, because that was when
Mm.
you go and practice. And that's where I saw everything. I mean, that's where I met Moy. That's where I met Koro. That's where I met, everybody, and so that opened up that door to that. And once that door was open, it wasn't closing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So you went from the building, hanging out with these kids. You end up becoming the leader. So between there and going to YA, what was the time gap? Did you start hanging out with them after a year? You went to YA. Was it fast?
It was it was quick. It was fast,
Okay.
man. It's a
Okay.
blur, because once you become obsessed with something, and let me tell you the greatest thing about Houston breaking history is that there was no like OGs. You know what I mean? Like you go to
Yeah.
LA, there's OGs.
Right.
You go to New York, I mean, you go anywhere, there's OGs. Here, it was kind of like we were in the forefront of creating this, and we didn't know
Mm.
it. That people would attack me for my lack of foundation, and my response was always a very humbling, like, "Well, teach me." And once you respond with something like that, it checks people, because we
Yeah.
didn't have workshops. We didn't have people like, so our creativity had to be it had to be everything. That's why we were always creating. And I'm glad I started that way, simply because I learned foundation late. I literally learned foundation when I started traveling, because
Mm.
nobody was in Houston teaching like this is what two-step is, this is what three-step, four-step, five-step, six-step, this is how you rock. I joined Koro. Koro was a hip hop, freestyle dancers, house dancers, and they were older, and they were in the club scene. And so literally those were my influences. Those were my big brothers. And there was no OGs teaching like this is what rocking is, this is how you do it. Like no, like it wasn't anything like that. We were literally just kids creating.
Yeah. So just to rewind, you came to the U.S. at 9.
Yeah.
Now, where's your family from? You brought up Cuba and El Salvador?
And yeah, so my mom is from El Salvador. My
Okay.
dad, I you know, I changed my last name, by the way. My last name is Lizama, and I took my mom's last name because my dad ducked out.
Mm.
He left, man. And so like now, like I've been really trying to take ownership of just identity, but also trying to pay respect to our mom. Single
Yeah.
mom, three boys. And we all changed our last name to my mom's last name. And so
What? Did
like
you do that
now, yeah,
recently?
yeah, I did that. I want to. as far recent as like probably like 10 years ago, you know.
Wow, wow,
And
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
as an adult, I did it
Yeah,
as
as
an
an adult, that's an
adult.
adult. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I did it because, you know, it's just when that question where you're from to some people is not an easy question, you know.
Right.
And so now it's just, yeah, El Salvador, and yeah, and you know, I just pay too much. I pay homage to my mom, you know, and so
Dope,
yeah, so
man.
that's yeah.
Dope, dope. We're definitely gonna get into your family. We're definitely gonna get into Coral. You're with these kids. You're hanging out. You're breaking. You become the leader. In what sense? You started organizing the crew. Is like, oh, we're gonna call ourselves this. What was the what was
Now
going down?
the leader is just, you know, when I say the leader, it's just literally the connector, you know,
Right, right.
the guy who would get us invited to places, and the guy that, you know,
Okay.
that would just start connecting, you know. I just I don't know how not to lead, or how not to voice my opinion, which has gotten me in trouble a lot. But at the same time, like, I don't know how to stay quiet, you know, or how to just go with the flow.
That's right.
And so I think that's just a big it's a great flaw. It's a great flaw for me, you know.
It'll definitely benefit you right in the long run. Being able to speak up your
Oh,
mind,
oh yeah,
protect yourself. It helps you protect yourself. So you
yeah,
go from the building to the YA building, right? Now we're in the
yeah,
YA building. Prior to
yeah,
this, you guys didn't have a name. It was just you guys breaking, dancing,
yeah, yeah,
experimenting.
yeah.
Was it b-boying or was it all styles? And then when you get into YA, because you mentioned Koro, break it down with me, right? Because we didn't grow up there. So
Yeah,
Havoc, Koro, that's two different crews.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Can
yeah,
you break that
yeah.
down for me?
So Havoc is a crew of b-boys. Like these guys. So when you think as far back as the 90s, kids that kind of knew what they were doing, you would think of Havoc.
Okay.
And Havoc stands for having a vicious, indestructible crew. So
Having
there
a
were
vicious,
that much.
indestructible.
Yeah, and so that was, a lot of people don't know this. Like that was that's how dope they were. Like they already had their identity. You know what I mean? Like that's how, like Moy, Nat, Maya, you know, these kids, like, yo, like they had it together. They were repping at a very high level. Um, Koro stands for Knights of Rhythm Odyssey. So that lets you know about their maturity. You know, Koro
Wow.
had a few b-boys in it, like Little John, but Little John was doing everything at the time. He was doing house dancing, popping, and breaking. And then you had Joel, and then you had Blaz, who was one of the co-founders, and then I got in like last. But when I got in on like, I I wasn't voted unanimously in. I think I got in because of what I could become, and I really
Mm.
appreciate that, simply because they gave this kid a chance. You know, this poor kid, and all of a sudden, like, I just had these older guys who were like, "Yo, you're gonna be dope. Like, you just give yourself time. You're gonna be dope." And it ended up paying off for everybody, you know. So.
Yeah. So this practice spot, was there any type of tension when you showed up or that you can remember between everybody or like, oh yeah, this crew, or
Oh,
was everybody just united in that sense?
no, no, no.
Okay.
Everybody went to their corners. There
Okay.
was,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I mean, you knew people. You said what's up, but at the same time, like, people stuck to their own back then. You know, I think today it's so much networking going on, and there's so much. You know, back in the day, you wouldn't dream of entering with another crew. Like, that was just
Yeah. No,
bananas.
that's
That
still not
idea is,
happening. That's still not
no,
happening.
yeah, yeah. It's so weird. Like, you have to like really be. You got to be a homie, you know, if you're gonna enter with us, or me enter with you. But it's not like, man, let's make this money, because there was no money. There was no,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right. It's just being
it was just,
fresh, like you said.
it
It's
was
just
just,
being
yeah,
fresh.
yeah,
Having a
yeah,
dope
yeah,
crew,
yeah.
having a dope name. So you went to YA, you saw Havoc, you saw Coral. This was before they were united as a crew, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you said you got down with Havoc first.
No, I got down with Koro
Or
first.
you got down with Coral.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah.
Coral and why not anybody else?
Because they were older. They're and it's just the name Koro, man. I mean,
Coral's
like,
fresh.
you know, Knights of Rhythm Odyssey. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
fresh.
think like their energy. I think because Havoc was my age group, but like Koro, like, man, it's these older dudes. They all got cars. They all, you know what I mean? Like, They used to sneak me in clubs,
What?
and to me, like they had so much. They were like a wealth of knowledge, like Mario, my boy Ladybug. They would like sit down and be like, yo, here's new music, check this out, and it was bombarding me all the like with so much knowledge and so much new
Wow.
music. And these guys were going to New York, and they were house dancers, and they would go to the tunnel,
Right, right, right,
and they would go
right.
to New York, and they would come back, and they would tell you these stories, and then but they made everything like seem like it was so doable. Like, yeah, Marley, next time we go to New York, you're coming with us, and like I'm a kid who never leaves my neighborhood, and for someone to be talking to me in this way, I think it was just, man, I was sold, man. I was just
Yeah.
so like I was sold, man. And they would pick me up, and they were just positive dudes. Mario's the first. I remember Mario was one of the first people that I heard talk about college. And before that, that wasn't in my vocabulary. That wasn't in my world. And I remember him doing classes. He goes, "Yeah, I got to go to school, man. But I'll catch you after that." And I'm like, "School? But you're old." And he's like, "No, I'm going to University of Houston." And I was just like, "Wow!" Like, but it just, it's these little seeds that just get implanted, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"Wow." And when your influences are positive older dudes, like, man, it does a lot for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so you get down with Coral, and do you have a relationship with anybody in Coral that you feel like was stronger than everybody else's? Somebody that you vibe with the most?
Yeah, it was probably Mario,
Mario.
but my arch nemesis was Little John,
In your
you
crew, Little John
know,
was Coral?
in my crew. Oh yeah, Little John, but Little John was the
Mm.
sheriff. Little John was he was the man. He was the one that knew what he was doing, and I had to earn his love. And man, I don't know if you guys know Little John, but man, that's a tough route. I'm still trying to earn his love.
I think everybody's there, right? Everybody's trying to be.
Yeah, yeah. But
Wow.
no, he was. I credit Little John for me being really good at battle because he would give it to me weekly. Like he would just come at me, and I think we share the same story, and I think there's a mutual respect, but also there's a mutual competition that we had from the beginning. But I loved him immediately. But I can't say if he loved me immediately, but I can say that he would come at me so hard, and it was just great. He literally made me really good really fast because I had to defend myself against him all the
Right,
time.
right. And I could just imagine Little John coming in.
Yeah.
Just the way he is, this must be
Hmm.
it must have been good and bad at the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
well, do you remember the moment? So do you remember the moment you had your first battle with Coral?
Yeah. I I had a 1984 Riviera, gangster ass car. Uh, and listen, this was a cop magnet. I used to get tickets on this mug all the time. And I remember the first battle, I went to battle with him, and I was literally outstyled. These guys were like they would be wearing like baggy denim, and I just remember Kango hats, and I call my boy Ladybug because he would have these huge Kango hats, and I'm like, yo, and he was kind of chubby, and I'm like, yo, you look like a ladybug. And it stuck, but I also remember like, they had money for clothes, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I remember standing next to these guys, and everyone looks taller when they're older, right? Like everyone looks bigger. And I remember my first battle, man. Literally, they're like, all right, go, it's your turn. And I'm like, oh shit. And but I remember like just killing it, like just killing it, well, as much as I could, like when I was young.
Yeah.
But I remember killing it, and I remember them going crazy for me, the energy, and it was just, man, yeah, I just remember that battle, man. And then we entered B-Boy City 1, and it was
Wow.
Koro versus Havoc in the final battle. So
So all right, so you get down with Coral. How long before
yeah.
you get down with Coral to where this first battle happens? Well, like when you
Uh,
first battle with them, what was that time? A
it was
year,
a it
two?
was it was a few months in, and
Okay.
like, yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like the cool part about it is like getting to know all these guys, and they were older, and like I remember them giving me stuff all the time. I have this yellow shirt and it has Koro on the sleeve on these iron-on letters. Listen, cheapest shirt in the world. It's
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing amazing about the shirt, but this shirt meant so much. I would wear this shirt 9 days a week, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Uh, but it meant so much. Anyways, one of my boys, his name is Mark. He goes by Vamp, from Chaos Crew, which is another legendary crew from Houston. He got into an accident and he was in a coma. And I remember giving him the shirt because I was like, yo, I want my shirt back when you come out of this. You hear me, motherfucker? Like, you come out of this and give me my shirt back. And I remember giving it to him. Well, anyways, just recently for this Tails battle, man, he gave me my shirt back.
Oh,
And I'm
what?
talking about 20 years later, 20 years later.
Yo, no
And the shirt,
way.
he never wore the shirt. It's still in pristine condition.
No
And yo, like
way.
that's what makes our culture so dope. That I'm 40 and something like this can touch my heart. Like
Yeah.
like when you talk about breaking, man, it's not talking about championships, Olympics, like the connection piece. I think sometimes it's lost. Yo, he met me up and gave me this shirt, and I promise you, my eyes watered up. Like I couldn't, but I remember these special things that people have given me from my crew, and I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to things like that, like these cheap things that because you had to do them cheaply because we couldn't afford a
Right,
lot of
right, right, right.
really high level stuff. So if you save these things, man, like you really had to take care of them. And I took care of all my
Yeah.
stuff because I didn't have a lot.
Yeah, no. I think everybody, especially our age group, right, is very nostalgic. Things like that become very nostalgic. I look at now, I haven't seen a new generation kid with his whole crew in the back of his shirt. You know how
Oh,
we used to iron
come
on.
on,
You go to a soccer
come on.
shop just to get your T-shirt, your jersey with a name on it. Yeah, you don't see that no more. That was so legendary, man. That was so legendary.
Can I say something on the side though?
Yes,
I
please.
do want to say this is what I want to have a get off my lawn moment. Poppers. Can I talk to Poppers real quick?
Poppers, listen
What
up, poppers.
what happened to you guys? You guys used to be the freshest, cleanest guys in the
Yo,
jam. The silk shirts, the hush puppies, like oh my! I remember watching Skeeter Rabbit, and like these guys would come in with the fedoras. You guys look like fucking like R&B singers, and now you look like you're cleaning out your garage, man. What the? All right, that was it. That was my get off
yo,
my lawn
poppers,
moment.
get on it, yo.
Yo, Poppers, come on, man. Come on. Come on, man.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
That
That's
was my
it.
get off
That
the lawn. That was it.
sidebar, sidebar. We're gonna come back to poppers though. We're definitely gonna come back to poppers. All right, so let's rewind a little bit. We went from the building to YA. Now, a few months later, you start battling with Coral.
Yeah.
B-Boy City 1. Do you remember what year this was?
Oh my gosh. No. No, it was that long ago.
Okay.
No.
If anybody knows in the chats, let us know. B-Boy City 1. Was that the biggest battle, like the first big battle?
Yeah, for me, yeah. And then the next one was it was called Flavor to Burn, and I
Oh,
entered
okay.
with Rudy Rex. Now listen, Rudy Rex is a different type of monster because he actually knew how to break. Uh, and, and he asked me to enter them, and I was so outclassed in that event. I was so outclassed. And the thing about that is, the thing that I love, the thing that I love about Rudy Rex is that he never treated me, he never treated me like I wasn't good enough to break with him.
Oh, that's
And
dope.
so if you see this video, you see this incomplete young kid who is just all energy, all moves, and then you have Rudy Rex, who is just this. He's just this guy was just amazing. This guy was just amazing, and if you see the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I tell people all the time because they're like they have these fond memories of Flavor to Burn, and to me, that it's not a fond memory because I'm just literally trying not to look stupid and trying to represent Rudy Riggs right. And you see my
Oh.
top rank, you see his. There's a big fucking difference, he's he's so he's so well put together. And this guy, man, and he's so funny, and he's so he was a man when he was a man. Like he was like mature, and he was just a great guy, man. Like I loved him, so I loved him immediately. And Rudy was the one guy that was Rudy was the one guy that was not in Houston. He was in Austin. So
Mm.
for him to connect with us, it was really a big deal. It was really a big deal. And I loved him so much, man. I loved him so much for it, man. Oh my gosh,
Wow.
these guys right here. And yeah, I do want to. I think Cold Cuts was the guy who gave me that yellow shirt. But I do want to shout him out. They were a lot of selflessness was happening back in the day because I think everybody was on the same struggle. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just like if I had something to eat, that means you have something to eat. You know,
Right, right,
and
right,
I
right.
hope everyone's experience was like that growing up in your group. You know, that's why I'm such a fan of HaviKoro, man. I really am a fan of HaviKoro.
And it's beautiful to see from an outsider looking at you guys, and not just you but just Texas as a whole, right? Because
Yeah,
Texas as a whole always stuck together. And if you
yeah,
look back at people that were in the crew, and if you look fast forward till today, 25 years later, it's the same people still together. And sometimes I look at that and I'm just like, man, this is something different, man. Yeah, it used to be like that. It used to be like that. All
yeah.
right, we're gonna jump from, because I just realized we are 41 minutes in and we're not even halfway through the show, man.
Wow.
And
You,
I can't even have you. I can't take 2 hours from you. So we're just gonna try to run through some of these. Okay, ritual warfare event. It just went down this weekend.
yeah,
It just went
yeah,
down this weekend. Now, before we get into that, you battled Tells One, right? You battled
yes,
Tells One. Let's
yeah.
really get into it. Let's really get into it. Where's my transitions? Where's my transitions at? All right. If you guys are just watching us right now, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If there's anything you guys want to ask Marlon, right now is the time. We might even put out the link and you guys can join us and talk to him in person, because this is what the spin theory is. If you guys want to talk to them, talk to me. I'll get them on here and I'll connect the dots, guys. We got Marlon in the building. Make some noise. Stop playing. Stop playing. All right, let's get spicy, man. Let's get spicy. I got some questions for you.
Yeah.
Marlon HaviKoro,
Get it.
Marlon versus Tells. We already talked about that. We did first breaking memory. Freestyle session, 1995.
Wow.
Style
Yeah,
elements, right? We got
yeah,
style elements and we got
yeah,
footwork fanatics.
yeah.
If you can really just tell me what was going down, how'd you get here? Do you remember anything about this battle? Were you here?
Yeah, yeah, I was wearing my yellow shirt.
The infamous yellow shirt.
The infamous yellow shirt. These were our heroes that we were facing, by the way. You know, you're talking about Wicked, Ariston, Crumbs, Flowmaster. I mean, like, I mean, shoot, if Ivan would have been there, it would have been over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, I can't confidently say we won. Like that's took out the top rocks, man. But yeah, so to me, to me, it wasn't about winning. It was just literally about representing for the first time. The fact that we won was bananas to me. I do want to say that because I mean, it's pole one. You know what I mean? Like these guys were as polished as you can get. But I think what we had was just this raw energy and this like feeling of like, well, we're here, might as well do it. You know what I mean? And it was just so great. And it wasn't about like, man, we just beat these guys. It was more about like this was our introduction to kind of like the world at the time. And the fact that the ripple that we caused from winning this battle was everything. To us, the championship is this right here. You know, a lot of people don't understand. We lost this jam, you know.
yeah.
But the fact that we made a name out of just this specific battle, and we're in forever in debt to these guys because these guys, I mean, come on, man, they were the best at the time, and we
Yeah.
recognize that though.
Yeah.
We were never like, yo, we
Yeah.
just beat style elements, we just beat forward for that. Never, never.
No,
I
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like it's you're not supposed to,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can.
and
You can't. You
yeah, you
can't.
can't, you
You
know,
can't.
and
Yeah.
you know, we gave it our all, but at the same time, like these guys were. I mean, we're indebted to these guys. We love these guys so much. So
Yeah. Yeah. Style elements. Footwear Fanatics, Wicked,
Yeah,
Poe.
yeah.
I mean,
Flow
you
Master. Come
know,
on.
it's like the first time I personally saw a battle, the first time I seen a battle was Stout Elements and Renegades in 96. That was the first time I
Come on.
seen two crews battle each other.
That's it.
So,
Radiotron.
Radiotron.
Is that
So,
Radiotron?
yeah, Radiotron 96. So when I seen that, it changed my life. That tape, I still have that VHS, by the way, the same
Oh, I
one
do
from
too.
96.
I do too. That was our Bible.
Now, in this battle, you're battling with Moy. How
Yeah.
did Havoc and Koro click up and become one?
Because of this event right here.
Oh,
Because
so it was this.
yeah, Havoc became our breaking brothers, because Coro were a bunch of, like I said, freestyle dancers, house dancers, and then there was me and John and Joel. But Havoc literally filled up. I mean, like what Maya's doing right there, man. That shit was unheard of back in the day, But it was literally us coming together because we needed each other, and so
Mm.
we just always clicked. We always clicked.
Was there anybody that was like, nah, thinking twice about it?
No, no, it just made so
Dope.
much sense. We loved each other. This is Cold Cuts, man. This is my man right here. This guy had everything. This guy flexible. I mean, like, it's just like, like this is Koro right here. Like this is what Koro is right there. Like this guy was he was just on he was hip hop, you know what I mean? Like the way they
Yeah.
moved, the way, and so yeah, man. Oh my God, I forgot Quality was there. Wow. The
Quality.
denim
His
the denim shorts.
Flavor to Burn was his event, right?
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, and I remember going to Concrete So in Vegas. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh man. Dope. Thank you for breaking down that battle, man. A lot of people have seen this battle, and it's dope to get your maybe one
Yeah.
day we can sit down and really go through a whole battle and
Yeah.
get your
Yeah.
one. The next one is Marlon versus Jan. I want
Yeah.
you to talk to me and let me know, one, how did this wait, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Oh, I found it. All right. Talk to me a little bit about this battle. Do you remember what you remember about it? How it happened and how you felt
Yeah.
you did and how you felt afterwards.
Yeah. Uh, uh, First of all, man, so this battle right here, I didn't take it serious. Man, I partied all night. So a lot of people don't understand like the culture of breaking sometimes. I think if you do it like when people say, yo, you keep it real, keeping it real is not the healthiest thing for B-boys. And so I remember just partying all night. I went to bed like at 4 in the morning and I woke up to do this battle.
Wow.
But I've never an excuse, never nothing. I just, yo, let's go, And so I don't remember ever training for this specific battle, but I just remember always just, I was good. I was good. And at that time, like, I've been always good, I'm HaviKoro, so I'll take it, And I've always liked Jan. Jan stood out to me a lot. I like his style. I think he had a lot. And to me, I do want to say that I came from a generation where there was so much power always around me. And so my thought process, my formula is like whatever I do is I want to create to where I can take out power and I can take out the best guy in the other crew. And so that's always been my thought process. So I always, if you see have a choral battles, like it's literally me, Moy, and John arguing on the side on who's got who, because we want to go after the best guy, and it's
Yeah.
attack, it's attack. Like I'm gonna attack you. I don't give a shit who you are,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
so
your whole style's like that.
yeah, it's just we're pit bulls, and I think it has a lot to do with it that oh by the way, I don't want to give away too.
Ooh. I gotta go
Yeah,
back. I gotta go back to what you just did. Yo, you came in heavy right here.
yeah. I think a lot of people don't give me credit for like people like focus so much on my character that they don't give me credit for rounds that I do. It's like yo, I do complete rounds. I do like I put things together and like I just always feel like yo, like motherfuckers like yo, like I do go off, you know what I mean? And yeah,
You do
but
go off.
see, yeah,
You do go off, but I'm gonna tell you a secret that you might not know.
yeah,
Right? You might not know about this about yourself. You might though. You've been around way too long to not know. But Havoc Koro, you guys, all
Yeah.
you guys, right? It, it's easy to hate on you guys.
Yeah.
So because it's easy to hate, it's easy for me to sit here and be like, nah, that was like, and make it seem like we're not paying attention, but we're paying attention, man. I mean, how could you
Yeah.
not, right? Like your whole aggressive style. All right, so let's talk
Yeah.
about your style. Was it easy for you to be like that? Like, a whole b-boy burning, talking not smack, but really sitting there and burning somebody. Was that easy for you to approach it in that way, or did you have to learn how to be aggressive?
No, I want to get really like kind of serious. This was my therapy. I
Yeah.
realized that I needed this. When you, man, I hate to take this conversation to that place, but honestly, like when you grow up without, you have to find ways to survive. And to me, it was like I couldn't control a lot of things in my life, but this right here, I can control, and I saw battle as a way of like, taking out my aggression and it came out this way. Battles make sense to me and I gravitated to it because I didn't have shit, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so I really loved the idea of just giving a lot of energy to something, and it made me feel right. And so it was my therapy. It became my therapy. It became it became my identity, basically. Yeah.
And then all right, so and then like along with your aggressiveness, here's the perfect example, right? You're aggressive, but then you have a comedic moment
Yeah.
within your round. So where does that
Yeah.
come from?
I'm a writer.
Mm.
Listen, there's this great line. There's this great line. Charles Dickens has it. It's called "It was the best of times. It was the worst of times."
Oh,
And that's from A Tale of Two Cities. I love that line because two things can be right at the same time. A place can be beautiful and dangerous. And to me, a battle can be one of the most serious things ever, but you have to find the enjoyment in it. And I think me making fun of you or me laughing at a move that you did is kind of like reminding myself, like, hey, you're dancing. You're dancing in a different country. You're dancing in a place you were never supposed to visit. You know what I mean? Like people came to see you. And to me, that's my reminder to enjoy it. Enjoy it.
wow.
Yeah, so it's a little philosophical, but that's what it is. Yeah, it's not
Wow,
that
I love
serious.
it.
It's dance. We're both dancing. It's not that serious,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but it is that serious. So yeah, yeah,
Mm. I'm gonna put another clip up. Here's another clip. Here's another clip. Marlon versus Burok.
yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about this battle. How did this come about? Why are you battling Bull Rock? What do you remember about this?
They hated us.
All right, so
uh,
when you say they, you talking about Ground Zero? You talking about
yeah,
who you
yeah,
talking about?
ground zero. And I do
Oh,
want to say that if you were a b-boy today and you've never gotten called out organically, if you've never been called out organically, like
that
if it's never been like a thing where this guy just does not fucking like you and he wants to there is no respect. No, no, no. This guy wants to smoke you. To me, it's just like you're missing out on that part of the journey. And this battle right here it was Bebe versus Little John at first, and then Burra called me out, and I'm like, wait, I just got here. What are you doing? And but you can't say no.
no.
You can't say no. And the thing that I love about Little John is the guy you want on your side because
Yeah.
he's not gonna let you not have energy because if you mess up, then he's gonna come in after you. Like, you know, but that's the great thing about John is that he's the perfect guy you want on your side. And you know what? I really like these guys because they were such great characters. But I think they hated us. I want to be very honest with you. I think they did not
Yeah,
like
yeah,
us.
yeah. You know what? I think that during that time, especially during this time, right? Because you guys were so aggressive, they were aggressive as well. Ground
Oh
Zero
yeah,
was
they
a crew
were.
that came out and they were not playing, right? I
Yeah,
think that naturally, if somebody else was just as good, then you automatically had beef with them. I think that growing up, we had that in us, right? In order for us to be
yeah,
good, we almost have to have this tension against somebody. Like there's always had to be this, let's go smoke somebody. You always have to
yeah,
have this
yeah,
attitude of, and sometimes when you didn't have beef, you almost had to create it to make the
yeah,
moment better. And they were really
yeah.
good at that.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
you battled Burok, and this is the
yeah.
great segment. You battled Tails one. All right, so who won between you and Burok? Who won? Honest.
But back in the day, nobody won.
Oh,
Honestly,
come
like
on,
you
Marlon.
don't. What? Okay, I mean, like if you're gonna, this is the thing. We didn't get the footage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
We didn't get the footage. Like I didn't see this. Listen, to be honest with you, this is probably the second time I've ever seen this in my life.
yeah.
Like all it is just is people saying who won. Like
Yeah.
and I'm sure Miami said I got roasted by Burak, and I'm sure everyone with common sense said that I won. But
Right, right, right. No, true story. That's how it is. That's how it is.
yeah.
Nobody really wins, right?
No, it's just you rap, you don't back down, and then it organically stops, just like it
Yeah.
organically starts. I do want to share a quick thing on how my experience in my life has been with breaking, how dope it has been. I won a jam in New York, and I went by myself. I won the jam. I'm walking out of the parking lot, and Kamel comes late, late, late. And I don't know if he's gonna, and I hope he remembers this, and I really do because it's such a great story. He goes, "Yo," he could have picked anyone in the fucking parking lot to ask this question to, but he just happens to. He he looked at me and said, "Yo, is it over?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then he goes, "Who won?" And then I go, "I did," and then he goes, "All right," and he starts taking off his backpack, and I'm like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Yo, we got to get it in then." And I'm like, "What?"
Yo.
I'm like, "No, we don't." He goes, "Yeah, we do." He goes, "So yeah, tie your shoes." And I'm like,
Yo.
we went at it rounds in the parking lot. Listen, if you have never had that experience, if you have never had that experience in your life, that then you are. I don't care about your sponsorships, your championships. I don't care about your big stages. If you've never had a Boo call you out, a K Mill who is intimidating enough just being around him, but him focusing some energy on you and be like, well, I got to get my rounds in. So you're it. You're that guy right now. If you've never had that, you're missing out on this whole beautiful breaking journey. And a
Right,
lot of
right.
people that they're champions right now and have never had an organic cipher raw battle where the
Man.
the emotions are all out there. And if you've never had
Right.
that, then you don't talk to me about breaking
Yeah,
because
man.
this is a big part of it right here.
Yeah, man. I mean, putting yourself in a vulnerable position, right? Or even having
Yeah.
somebody put you in a vulnerable position,
Yeah.
it's scary. It's almost scary, right? Like I remember countless battles have even now as a adult, as a guy that doesn't even battle or break like that, I still get called out when I go to cities. You know, it
Yeah.
still happens.
Yeah.
And now it's more fun than anything, but there was a time where your reputation, everything was on the line. It was like, yo,
Yeah.
this is it. Like this is the moment you've been dancing for your whole life. It's here right now. So yeah, man. Shout outs to everybody. If you guys haven't been in a cipher battle, we should make that popular. So go call somebody out, man. If you guys see me out in public, call me out. If you see Marlon, call him out. Make
No,
some
don't call
noise.
me out. Yeah. But
All right.
it's also it's an honor to get called out. It is also an honor to get called out to especially when you don't know that person because they're literally calling you out because they respect you so much that they want to go against you. I think that's such an honor too. So it's not all
Yeah, yeah,
negative.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. True story. True story. Unless it gets personal, you don't want to do that. Just be
Yeah,
respectful, and it'll be all right. You know what's
that's it.
one thing, and just as off topic, because I know I got to run through these questions real quick now. Do you feel any type of way when somebody gives you the cock?
No, because I'm from the '90s, so that's just everybody,
Man, I take
And
that so
but
personal.
I do put that on Boo Rock. I mean, I do put that on Ground
Ground
Zero, though.
zero. Yeah,
I
yeah.
will credit them. I will credit them because before that, I had never seen that before.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So I do credit them for that. They brought that into the scene. So
They did bring
I
that.
don't,
Actually,
it's a battle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I do take personal though? Those guys that use calling biter as a battle
Mm,
tactic. I don't
mm,
like that at all. I don't like that
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
I don't I it's rare unless it's blatant. unless it's like, yo, you're blatantly disrespecting somebody's move and you're stealing their stuff. I don't use it simply because I don't want to take away. There's respects that I think you got to give the person that you're battling. I think you have to be
Yeah,
respectful. So
you have to be, right? You have to be.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you're battling them, the reason you're battling them, there has to be some respect. You either have to think they're good enough for you to go up against. There has to
yeah,
be some form of respect there, so we can't forget that.
yeah.
We're gonna jump through some of these questions, man, because we're running out of time. Marlon, I want to first thank you, and I want to give you your flowers, man, because you've put so much work in the game. We've seen you develop. We've seen
Thank
you
you.
grow up. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
us have seen each other grow up for the past 20,
yeah,
25 years, right?
yeah.
And I wanted to give you your flowers, man. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you've done. We appreciate everything you're gonna do. You know, you're a great person. I could tell your vibes. I'm digging it. Thank you so much for being a part of our community. And in behalf of everybody, man, make some noise
No,
for Marlon, man.
thank you,
Stop playing.
man.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Thank you.
All right, Marlon. I'm gonna get spicy now with some spicy questions. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh,
Fatality.
all right. Crazy Legs versus Kenny.
Oh man, see, I'm too much of an artist, so I have to go with Kenny.
Oh,
I have to go with
nice,
Kenny.
nice, nice,
Can
nice.
I do say this? I do want to say this though, but my preference is always gonna go to the grind. Like when I first saw B-Boy Summit 3, like Easy Rock was perfect in that video. Perfect. He was flawless. There was nothing that Easy Rock can do. But you know, my favorite dancer was Remind. He was not flawless. He was on the ground. He was rolling around. He was not polished. Uh, but man, I just gravitate to the grind. And even though I can appreciate Easy Rock, who was technically like on a god level, but to me, I always gravitate to the grime, and which is not calling Kenny grimy in any kind of
Right,
sense,
right,
but
right, right.
Kenny's that, like, to me is just the people's champ kind of guy, and I always gravitate to that guy. So yeah, Kenny
Well,
all day.
since you bring that up, all right. Shout outs to Kenny and shout outs to Crazy Legs. They're both legendary.
Hmm.
So if this
Yeah,
ever if this battle ever happened, it'll just break the internet, right?
yeah,
When you say that you were gravitated towards Remind more because he was a little bit more grimy. Now,
yeah,
what kind of advice would you give to somebody young that is watching right now? Because we definitely got young kids in here. We always got like
yeah,
15, 16-year-olds watching the show. What would you
yeah,
say to them when they say, how do I get style? How do I get style? How do you get
yeah.
style to be likable?
Listen, first of all, get the fuck away from opinions. Like, everyone has favorite dancers, man. I am a combination of Remind, of Thunder from Enemy Squad. Uh, I wish I could say Po One because he's just so fucking just cool, man.
Yeah.
But also a combination of my crew. You know, you have to be a combination of people. You know, you have to
Mm,
get influence. It's okay to be influenced. It's okay to, but I think the trick is to let them know. I can tell you every time I see Remind, I say thank you. I tell them thank you. I've told Style Elements thank you. I've told Storm thank you. I've told Ivan thank you. I've told Thunder thank you. You know, I've told these my heroes, the people that, Flowmaster. I've told them thank you. You know, because I feel that if we make that a normal thing, then you take care of this all this uh, ideology of what is original biting and this and that. Because listen, I don't want my moves to die with me. I have really cool concepts that I've created, but also I think that you should have the right to hand them off to someone special. That's why we have these next generation kids. And to be honest with you, man, I don't want to be an old man, can't do my moves, so nobody should do my moves. But I think that you
yeah.
should have the right to hand them off to people and make them better. And so I think that it's getting out of hand where it's just like people originality versus whatever. I think we have to normalize saying where we got our stuff from. I think we
Yeah.
have to normalize paying homage. I think we have to normalize passing down moves because at the end of the day, what is it? It doesn't do anything for me if my moves just go out with me. So to me, is I want to normalize, stop calling people biters and have this conversation of like how to do it right, how to do it properly. And that style is gonna come with time. It's gonna come with time, man. Like if you're winning championships after 3 years of breaking, what does that say about our scene? Then our scene
Oh.
all of a sudden has accepted that we don't have a strong foundation and we don't really care about quality. Nobody,
Mm.
your job as a b-boy 5 years and younger, like 5 years in the game and younger, is to lose. Your job is to be in the ciphers. Your job is to be taking workshops. Your job is to be looking for mentors. That's your job. If you're trying to be a champion, 5 years of breaking and already a champion, then I question that championship that you won. I question
Mm.
it because it takes a long time to get original moves, also original style and things that define. If you turn off the light, and people ask like, how do you define style? Turn off the light. Check out someone's silhouette. And if you could tell who that person is, then that's style.
Ooh, that's
That's
fresh.
style. You could
That's
see you
fresh.
could see the way people go in. You could see, their flaws and the way they do things. And I'm very happy that we're living at a great time with so much opportunity, but at the same time, uh, Saul Williams, which is one of my favorite poets, has this amazing line that says, "They should have never gave the MC the cordless mic because he strayed too far from the source."
Mm.
I love that line so much because that's the way I feel about breaking right now. Like when you have a crowd of people that don't know anything, and that is what we're dictating our champions off of, then there's a problem. And I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I create like an artist. I think like an artist. I'm not an athlete, and it's okay if you're an athlete. I'm not debating anything, but what I'm saying is, let's demand quality, but also let's start some new traditions. And maybe a new tradition is, where'd you get that move? Oh man, this move is my homage to Ivan. Guess
Right,
what?
right, right,
That
right.
conversation of you're a fucking biter stops
Mm-hmm.
because you just humbled yourself. Oh, this move right here, man, I got this from Marlon. This move right here, yo, I got this from Smurf. All of a sudden, now we have integrity behind this conversation. You know who has told me I've inspired their moves? Hong Ten, Physics. These are great b-boys that never have to they don't have to tell me. Physics, I came up to me with an interpreter to tell me that he got a move from me. How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
So I think it really normalizes like just quality and homage, and you have a lot of angry OGs because they don't feel valued. Of course they don't feel valued, you know? And I think it's beyond ignoring these OGs. I think it's preparing them as well. Like when I won't hire an OG to judge a jam. I think they have to be trained as well. And I think there's a way to make everyone happy, but I think we don't even take the time to figure it out as a scene. And now we have and I'm gonna say this, we have opportunists who will say yes men to marketing schemes of what our breaking scene should look like. And then you have people that are like, wait, we haven't even figured out ourselves yet. And we have to figure out this conversation of how do we deal with this problem of these kids winning these huge championships with nothing original. And then when you interview them, they're saying nothing. And just like, to me, is like, if you teach a workshop, learn how to teach a workshop. And there's ways to do it right. I think it's about taking the time, but also I think it's about demanding from our scene of like, hey, instead of calling people biters, why don't you ask them where they got those moves from? And
Right.
now, if they don't say it, like if they don't claim it, if they start saying, nah, whatever, man, these are all my moves, then that's a different conversation. But I think a lot of kids will surprise you and they'll tell you, like, oh, no, no, well, I got this from, Style Elements back in the day. And if they say
Yeah.
that, then let's start changing this conversation,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, I got our young guns in my crew, like Vale and Marcus. I want them to rock my moves. because man, I can't wait to see what they do with it. I don't want
Right.
my moves to go away because I created some very cool stuff and I want people to keep that tradition going. I don't want reveal to go away, you know? I want to see another person repping like K-Mel, like, why not? And I think especially if you're paying homage to those people, I think I think we should normalize it.
Yo.
Yeah,
I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that you're right. The culture needs to change, and that's a great perspective, right? Instead of calling somebody a biters, let's talk about where we got these moves from, because then
yeah,
now we start uplifting the people that came before us. And you're right.
that's it.
A lot of OGs are grumpy, and they're going to get the light that they deserve. And
Yeah,
you're right in a lot of ways, man. Even the youngsters, you guys should be searching for mentors. But I'm gonna turn the tables and put the ball in the OG's court. It's also the
okay.
OG's job to go out and start searching for students and start putting out your information, because a lot of OGs would just sit at home,
Yeah,
close themselves off from the world, and then blame the world that they're not being loved. And sometimes you, if you're an OG out
yeah,
there and you feel like you're not getting love, put yourself out there more, go out to
yeah.
events more, and be more open about this.
But I tell you what though, I think it's our generation to be the dot connector. I think the '90s generation is the ultimate dot connector between what's happening now and the OGs. And I think I've met a lot of bitter people that it's just about taking the time, like, listen, you're going at it the wrong way. Like maybe open up and tell the things that you love about our culture and our scene, and then that's how you draw people in. Because if
Yeah.
it's just anger, and bitterness and this is what I created, and it's just like chill, son. Like there's a way to do it right, and I think, but at the same time they have to have enough humility to want that. Do
Right,
you
right,
really want to
right.
judge? You know what I mean? Like, and I tell people all the time, like, people that have done great things, just because you've done great things doesn't mean that you're going to teach a great class. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a good judge. Now, do you want to learn? And if you're open-minded to it, hell yeah, I'll teach you. I've had some people take my workshop and they're like, "Hey, can you teach me how to teach? Because I want to teach." How beautiful is that? A lot of
Yeah.
people don't think of it in that way, but I think there's an art to doing workshop. You have to learn how to do workshops properly. And a workshop to me is, if you're teaching a workshop and it's just about you showing off and half the class can't do shit that you're doing, that's a horrible workshop. Workshops is it's about education. I mean, I think you should learn two to three, four moves tops in a workshop.
Right.
Use teach things that are usable in my own style, teach things that are going to open up my mind, but also tell stories of where these moves came from, of where you got them from, of what inspired you. And I think it's a combination of, like, man, I've been to some horrible workshops, but also I've been to some workshops where it's this young kid who has no business teaching a workshop,
Right.
you know and if you're young, I get it, you're trying to make loot, you're trying to make money, but if you have no idea on how to teach a workshop, stop it, because you're going to do more damage than good. You're doing a disservice to our scene when you're teaching garbage workshops and you have
Yeah.
nothing to say. If you have nothing of substance to say, do not teach workshops. Do not learn how to teach them. If you're a high level b-boy that does not know how to teach workshops, guess what? Reach out to people that do. Hey, Kenny, hey man, how you doing? My name is Kenny's the coolest guy in the world. You know what I mean? Hey, why not? Hey man, I just want to introduce myself. Can you take, man, there's not one person that if you come at them correct, they're not going to take the time with you,
Right. Right.
and especially reinvest in yourself. Hey, I have $300. Hey, can I pay you for your time to teach me how to teach? Man, that's money well spent, because you're going to get that money back. And these
Right.
are the things that I think, as I mature and I see the things that we lacked when we were young, now we're at the point that we're more educated now and we see things like much more clear. And that's why I think our generation is the ultimate dot connectors, because we saw the change. We saw the change from the old school, but also we saw the new class come in, and we passed the baton. Now either you passed the baton or you held that baton really tight and you went down with your ship. But if I'm still in the front line of my crew battling, there, man, then HaviKoro did not do good, because we didn't educate the next gen.
Right.
We didn't reach out, we didn't mentor, and now Shoot, Vale, Marcus, Cullen, Isaac, these little young dudes, they're my pit bulls. Let's go. And that's how I know that we're on the right track. And I don't mean to say this in a way that I'm angry. I mean to say this in a way that, man, we have to evolve. It's getting boring now. Like, let's evolve, right? If we keep saying that we're culture, 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 then let's do some cultural things. Because all we focus on is champions, champions, champions. Half these champions, man, like, they're boring to watch. Yeah, they're boring to watch. I mean, that's you're amazing. It doesn't take away that you're amazing, but you're still boring,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow, wow. Make some noise for Marlon, man. We're just getting the gems today, man. That's right.
That's it.
We're just getting the gems today.
I'm gonna stop. This is my last interview because they're not gonna fly me out anywhere.
No, 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 no. Actually, this is the opposite. We are connecting the dots right now, right? Because we're giving access, we're giving information to all the young cats watching this right now. All the young cats that are on YouTube, they're taking all this information, and it's up to us to come on YouTube and expose this and have people. Yeah, I want different people every week. I don't have the time for it, but if I could get 2 or 3 interviews a week with OGs, people like you, I think we can make a better scene for everybody, right? So thank you for dropping that on us, man. We're gonna give you a round of applause again.
Thank you.
Okay, Wiggles versus Flowmaster.
Oh man, I'm gonna say something very. I think a lot of people would be anti this, but it's gonna be Flow. It's
Oh,
gonna be Flow. I'm
nice,
sorry.
nice.
Listen, I'm sorry. I love Wiggles. Wiggles is easy rock to me. Like,
Oh,
Wiggles
I
is
see, I
another
see, I
guy.
see, I see.
Wiggles is another guy. But Flow's gonna do what it takes to win.
Yeah, yeah,
Flow's gonna do.
yeah.
If it's not gonna be his skill level, it's gonna be his antics. It's gonna be everything. And I love Flow. I'm sorry. Like, it's Flow
All right.
Master.
All right,
Yeah.
we're going with Flow. My next one, Beta versus Abby Girl.
Oh my gosh, I love Abby. She's such a good person. Abby's a sweet person. I gotta keep going with my grind, but I go with Beta
Oh, Beta.
because yeah, it's just Abby's so nice. So I feel like a jerk, like even saying that, but I go
None
with
of this
Beta.
is personal. This is all just fun
Yeah, no,
hypotheticals,
yeah.
right?
There you go. There you
Master Mace versus Doug.
go.
Oh,
Okay, so I do want to say this. I do want to say that I am very proud of Mace. I so you said it earlier. You watched me grow up, and we watched each other grow up. Mace is one of the other guys that
yeah,
literally we watched grow up.
yeah,
Even his
yeah,
brother though too, like
yeah,
Weapon
yeah.
X, right?
True,
Like
true, true,
like we
true.
we're watching them grow up. Golly, that kid Doug is just one muscle. He's like a calf muscle personified. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's just, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, you know what? Like Ivan, like I don't think I can punch Ivan and hurt him. I want to say that. Like,
No,
yeah, like
no.
he's like Ivan is just
A muscle. He's
you.
just a muscle.
I do want to say it. I saw Ivan do windmills the way he does windmills on the floor on grass. That's how awesome that guy was. Like the way he, like I saw him do that on grass. So with that, I want to say, geez, this is a very hard question because I'm too. Oh my gosh, man, I would say Mace, but Doug is right there. I think they're like both on the same journey, and you catch them on the right day, and it could be either one. But just because of my connection, I would say Mace, and I'm very proud of those kids. Man, they're good. They're
They're
good,
good. They're
and they
good.
don't get tired, and that's the scariest part. They don't get tired. I hate them. They don't get
Yo, these
tired.
kids, these kids.
I hate them.
All right, I'm gonna ask you another one right now. Fatality round.
Fatality.
Marlon versus Tells.
Oh, Marlon all day.
Oh, day. That's
Marlon all
right.
day.
All right,
Listen,
so you just battled Tells though.
yeah, I did.
How do you feel about the battle?
I'm very proud of myself. I
Good,
like
good.
3 months of making a choice to be healthier, making a choice to relearn how to be myself. People don't understand. I say these comments of like I had to relearn how to do my movement, and Yo, honestly, it was the toughest shit to do for me. It was very hard. It was hard to relearn. It's like relearning how to walk. And
Right.
it took me the first month, it was all about weight loss for me. And
Okay.
I had to literally freaking lose weight for me to break. Uh,
Wow.
and so I'm not, and I was 175, so I'm not talking about like I was like out of control, but at the
Right.
same time, like I had to I had to reflect on what I didn't have for the first time. And for the
Wow.
first time in my life,
Wow.
I didn't have a lot. I didn't have the what I needed to be able to battle, little less battle somebody. Um, so the first month I had to lose weight. The second month I had to learn how to do my moves.
Yeah.
And because we make our moves look effortless. People don't understand the stuff that goes into our movements. And third, I had to make them look fresh. That
Right.
third month,
Right.
that third month was hard because not only did I have to relearn my moves, I had to relearn my moves the way I'm okay with it, like the way I will give my a thumbs up of like I would do this in a battle. I'm
Right.
so
Right.
hard on myself. I think a lot of us are really hard on each other. But I would have said, if I wasn't ready for that battle, I would have said no. I refuse to look whack. I
Right.
refuse. I refuse to look whack because honestly, I love this culture so much. I love hip hop so much. I love HaviKoro so much that I refuse to look whack. And
Yeah.
on the third month, I'm like, I would do some movement where I was like, oh shit, okay, all right, I'm digging it, and literally I lost, I think a total now, I'm at like 148,
Wow. Wow.
147 in
Okay.
3 months, like close to 30 pounds in 3 months. And it was very tough. It was a tough journey, especially the diet part. So it was very tough.
So when you agreed to the battle, that was 3 months in advance.
Yes.
Okay, and then when you got announced, did you strategize in that sense? Oh, I'm gonna first month I'm gonna lose the weight. Second month I'm gonna work on my moves. Third I'm gonna polish them. Did you strategize in that way, or did you just go into it knowing that all right, this is what I gotta do first?
So this is how crazy it was. On on that first month, I couldn't do a chair freeze, and I thought I had lost flexibility, but it was because of the weight. And so
Okay,
once, like, yeah, it was kind of that. Like, I was like, oh shit, I have to lose weight, but I can't lose weight with breaking. Because if you
right,
lose
right,
weight
right,
if
right.
you're heavy and you break, you can damage yourself, your knees, it's just more weight. It's like Zion Williamson, like he's so big to himself that even though he can execute his movement, he's still damaging his body. So I had to respect my body, to where I was like, oh man, I gotta lose weight, so that it was just that. It was exactly what you just
Okay,
said. That's how I
okay,
prioritized
okay.
it.
Wow. So this battle, I believe it gets released. All right. So who won the battle?
Ah man, I don't know if I'm supposed to tell you, but I smoked the shit out of him.
Oh,
Like
spicy.
this is the thing. It's just like yo, like listen, I don't need breaking to live. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like yo, like to me, like that's the one thing I love about where I'm at right now in life that it's too short. It's too short. Like listen, I let him live. Like he talked a lot. He talked a lot, and I loved his comments. They were so great. They were so great. But at the end of the day, like he forgot, like, yo, you can't intimidate a wolf. You know what I mean? And like I've never been intimidated by nobody. And
Yeah.
so I loved like that he was talking so much, and I loved it. I loved it. I think, but and I do want to excuse it when I say I smoked the shit out. But
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
like humbly, I think I won.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
b-boy talk. This is b-boy talk. You know how we
as
oh,
a
that's trash, but it's not really
as a
trash, but
but I would not want to battle anyone that didn't think that they could smoke the shit out of me. I'm gonna be
right,
very
right,
honest
right,
with you,
right, right.
and I'm so happy that he took that route and like was talking so much noise, and I didn't respond to it for the first time in my life. Like I fought against every instinct that I had, and I didn't say nothing. I was like, okay, okay, I love it, keep going, and it was so great, and even to the very last second, because at the end of the day, like I was so prepared, and I was so prepared, and I felt so good about myself, and
Good,
I'm
man. I'm
very proud.
happy.
And I am gonna say this: I'm very proud of every round that I did, and I didn't phone it in at all. I gave 1,000%, and you're gonna see classic Marlon on there. And whether you're a fan of what I do or not a fan of what I do, I did bring it, and I can confidently say that I brought it, and that's the
Nice.
thing that I'm most proud of is that yeah, I brought it. I did good. I'm proud of myself, and I think people are not going to be looking at like, oh man, it's just so good to see him. I don't want that. Don't give me that. I wanted like, yo, Marlon killed it. Like that's what I wanted. And that's exactly what I got. And I can confidently say that. And when you have people like Why Not in the crowd, Keebs in the crowd, you got HaviKoro members in the crowd, you got these people that you love so much and you respect them, that you also want to put on a show for them,
Right.
and so the right people were in the house. And also I wanted to respect Tails as well. Me saying I wanted to smoke Tails was just me respecting him because yeah, I don't want to phone it in. I really don't. And so I would rather keep your money. I don't need money. I'm good. But this was something I had to do for myself. And if I didn't see myself doing that at a high level, I wouldn't have taken it. And I can confidently
Yeah.
say I did it at a high level. I
That's
feel good
right.
about it. I feel
That's
good
right.
about it.
And it's so it's
I
so
do.
it's so good to hear that, man. Like I love
Yeah.
hearing that. I love and the way you're saying it, your body language, you're happy, you're smiling.
Yeah.
This is a
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful moment in breaking, man. Like we're talking to
Yeah.
Marlon. Marlon just battled, and usually when people are done with battles, they always say, "Oh, I could have done better." There's always this,
No.
but
No.
none of that. This sounds
None of
good
that.
right here.
And I do want to say I had 10 rounds prepared. I could have gone 10 rounds. I really like yo, like I think once you see the battles, you'll understand why I only did six. And I don't want to be an asshole, but you know what I mean? So I just kind of want to be respectful as I can. But I was ready for 10 rounds.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
ready
yeah.
for 10 rounds. And I done hookah roast the most. And that was the level of stamina that I wanted to do. Like I
Wow.
literally, I stuck to the game plan for the first time in my life. I stuck to a game plan. I knew what I was gonna do, and to be at the end of the day, man, it's like there's some guys that have rawness and things like that, but then there's guys like me that have rawness and rounds.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's the two type, because rawness carries you so far, but you also got to have rounds. And so I think some people get used to the rawness because that's their identity, but realize that round five is coming, homie.
Round
You know,
10.
round seven is
Round
coming, like
8.
round eight is coming. And if you don't have that much substance, like if you don't have that much stuff, it's gonna show. And there's an moment, in the battles, and you can see the moments, especially when the other guy is prepared as hell.
Right.
And
Right.
I was prepared. I was really, really prepared.
That's
And
right.
yeah, I was ready, and I'm very confident about it, and I'm very excited for everyone to see it because, and plus, I want to say thank you just to the scene of like how much positive energy and interest they have gotten. I mean, I've gotten so many beautiful messages from just people all over the place, literally, genuinely wanting to see this battle. Literally, there's kids that are doing air tracks off their pinkies and disappearing and reappearing into air chairs right now, but people just have this genuine like want to see this battle. And I do want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's very humbling to me that after 27 years people still want to see you break. And
Right, right,
you
right.
talk about impact, you talk about faith in this culture that we have. I think that says everything about it. And
Yeah.
nobody has been disrespectful about it. Nobody has. I mean, people just genuinely want to see it. And to me, I do want to say thank you. I'm very humbled by the idea of people being patient and waiting to see it. Like it's crazy, And I've gotten some beautiful messages from just these amazing people that are just so excited, but also people that were there of saying thank you. Thank you for this nostalgic moment that you gave me. And I do want to shout out my boy Keeves. Keeves came up to me and just said, Marlon, man, I was in the 90s again, dude. He just gave me a big
Yeah.
old hug, and that made me feel so good, man, because that just lets me know that those 3 months that took time away from my family, took time away from just everything, because I had to do it right. I had to do it right, and you just never take into consideration how they see the after effect. I think I posted a picture of my progress, and I do want to say I did look pretty ripped and lean, but to get to that moment, all people see is that picture, and they're like, wow, you look great. And it ends there. But
Right,
man, to
right.
get to that moment from when you started to get to that moment, sometimes you can't even envision getting to that moment. I never thought I would break 160. I plateaued at 160 for a long time. And I was like, why can't I break this? I don't understand. I'm doing everything right. And then all of a sudden it's just 155, 153, 150, 148. I'm like, whoa. All of a sudden I'm in high school weight. All of a sudden I can do what I used to be able to do. And to me,
Right.
that's just the greatest part about this.
Man, I don't think this episode of this show today couldn't have been any better, man. I think that
Oh man,
just
thank
hands
you so
down,
much.
like way more than I expected, man. Way better than I expected. I did not expect so much energy, positivity from you. I can expect to see you so healthy. You look good. I told you that right when you came on camera, man. I'm gonna give you your
Thank you so
flowers.
much. Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's a special moment for everybody, for us watching it from the outside, right? Because
yeah.
you're a legend. Tails is a legend. Rebirth
Yeah,
has
he
been
is.
around for a minute, right?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
And he's been putting it down, representing, battling people, and like Keith said, you guys took us back to the '90s, man. You got and thank
yeah,
you for
and
that.
that's
Thank
it.
you for that. And this reminds me of a moment when I saw Flea Rock at the at the
Yeah,
at the Rebel battles last year, right?
yeah,
Because a
yeah.
lot of people, especially myself, sometimes I don't dance. I don't really get physical as of recently, the last few years. Um, and watching him, watching you, it's almost like there's no excuse. There's no
Yeah,
excuse. If you guys can still do it, nobody can say, "Oh, I used to break." There's none of that. If you used to
no,
break, you were never a b-boy, right?
yeah,
And
yes,
thank you for that,
yes,
man. Thank you for that. That's a reminder for me and for everybody watching, man. There's no, "Oh, I used to dance" or "I'm retired." None of that. If Marlon,
no,
Flea, these guys
yeah,
can still do it, it's
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. And I do want to say it. This is a challenge to you, man. We miss you. The scene needs you. You know what I mean? Like the scene needs the 90s. And simply because why not? I think right now we're in our best years.
Yeah.
It's the people that win ultra marathons, and these are 100-mile marathons, they're not in their 20s. They're in their late 30s, 40s. Like these are the people that are doing like these are the people that go mountain climbing, and so that's the way I see it. I'm like, this is that second wind. And
Right.
so I do challenge. I'm like, hey, listen, if you're in the 90s and like let's make another run at it. Make another
Yeah.
run, even if your run
Yeah.
is in the ciphers. Maybe if it's just celebrating, because to me, I owe my this next generation of HaviKoro, but also this next generation of Houston in general, that I want them to see me in top form, because I want them to understand, like, hey, listen, this is the roots of this city. This is the roots of what we do. And so to me, it was very important. So if you see behind me on the video, you have Jeffro from Rad Crew, who's going to the Olympics. This kid is amazing. He's the sweetest kid in the world. You got Ishmael from Culturas Unidas. You got a bunch of these young cats following me, and literally, like, the reaction to my movement is so genuine and beautiful. It's like excitement, and to me that means everything, because not only does that legitimize my journey, but also that lets me know that it is right what I'm doing. And so I do challenge you, man, because honestly, man, like, everyone, Casper, like we still have so much to give, and we're not out of it. It's not like health wise you can't do it, and why not do it? I would
Right.
rather be doing
Right.
it than reminiscing about it, right? Like, there's
Right.
you know and so I guess what is it? There's two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Pick your pain.
Ooh.
And it goes to that Charles Bukowski quote of "find what you love and let it kill you." And I really believe
Wow.
that, man. And that's why
Wow.
I'm a writer. That's why
Wow.
I demand to control what I do, because when I was young, I couldn't control it. Now I can. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
find
yeah,
what you
man.
love and let it kill you.
Yeah. Thank you for that, man. Very, very inspirational. And yeah, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get back to training so, a little bit, even if it's just to
That's
celebrate
right.
with you. When I see you in the
That's
ciphers,
right.
we could dance together
Yes.
and celebrate
Yes.
what we all been doing for so long, man. So really, thank you so much for coming on to the show, man.
Oh
I
man,
just
thank you.
I'm lost with. This is probably my top one of my top interviews, or
Oh,
I don't know
come
what
on.
this is called. You know, this is you're just so good. You know how to speak. You're good on camera. You articulate your thoughts, and I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so
Oh
much.
man,
Way better than I
thank you.
expected. Thank you.
Oh, let's go. I'll take that. That's a great
Yes,
compliment.
thank you. And you guys know where to find Marlon, man. Stop playing. You guys are already going. Go on
Yeah.
Instagram. Go follow him. Go
Yes.
support him. And is there anything else you want to leave us off with?
I do want to leave, like, I really want to push for culture, man. Listen, let's do better. Let's do better. Um, Point out the opportunists that are really harming our scene. These yes men that all they want to do is get gig after gig. I get it. Everybody wants to get a gig, but we have to do things with integrity. If you're young, your job is to learn and make our scene better. If all you care about is championships, sponsorships, money, and Instagram likes, you're killing us. You're killing us. Like, humble yourself, and also to the OGs that are, that are still in the game. Share the realness. Like, I think at the end of the day, like, we need to humble ourselves to each other. We need more culture. We need more connection, and we need more honesty and transparency. Because I think at the end of the day, these kids in these third world countries and these other countries, they're giving up a lot to try to chase this dream. And sometimes that dream is not the dream that they think it is. And it's our fault because we front and we make these things way bigger and better than what they are. So I do want to say we need more transparency. We need more honesty. We need more educated people leading things, and stop looking at people's breakdance resume to say who's a leader and who's not.
Ooh.
We need people in the forefront. We need people that, I don't care if you never won a Rebel BC1. You have great ideas. Make us better. Make us better. To the OGs, please reconnect with your scene. Please reconnect with the young kids. They need mentors. We need mentors out there. Invest in B-girl scenes. Uh, the best, I tell people all the time, if your city has a dope B-girl scene, then you have a dope hip hop scene, you know?
Mm.
And teach a free workshop every now and then, man. Teach a free workshop every now and then. Connect with people in that way. And that's it, man. I think we're living at a time of big stages and flashiness and champions. But I think the arts aspect of what we do has to be maintained, and we have to invest in it the way we're investing in these champions. And honestly, I benefit just as much as that anyone benefits, so it's almost hypocritical for me to demand. But at the same time, you're never going to see me do something that is not with integrity. you know uh Dude, I've done poetry in humongous events. People have allowed me to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so uh, there's there's ways to use your platform without losing yourself. You're never gonna see me do something that is outside myself. And at the end of the day, I talk about culture, I talk about the power of our story, and I'm always gonna do that. And if I have a huge platform, I'm not tap dancing for nobody. I'm still doing me. So I do want to say we have more power than we think we do. They only have the power we allow them to have. So then let's change the narrative a little bit. Let's really step up and say, hey, what's going on here is whack. It's okay to say that. And if people are attacking you for it, then that's whack. I think we need more right people in the forefront instead of
Mm.
opportunistic people that just want to make sure that they make it and they're on camera at the Olympics. I think there's ways to do both. I think there's ways to do it with integrity, and I think there's ways to do it right. And it starts with your immediate scene. Reconnect with it. What problems do we have? Let's solve them. Let's be community. Let's reinvest in our crews. Let's reinvest on making breaking safe and fun and also accessible, you know, because at the same time, if you think you're too big of a star to reconnect with your scene, calm down, son. You already failed. You know, like you already failed because
True story. True
I
story.
haven't met a millionaire yet. So, you know what I mean? Like calm down. Just like I told everyone before, when all these hip hop movies used to come out, I'm like, wait, you think that these celebrities are gonna take you with them to their next project? Nah, homie, don't feel yourself in that way. Chris Brown he's leaving after this movie. What are
Yeah.
you gonna do? And these people in their minds, they think that whatever they're doing on the right now is gonna be longevity, and it's not. Unless you invest in longevity, it's not gonna work out that way. And we have so many right now projects that there's no longevity within it, you know? So it starts with education, it starts with connection. And if the Olympic thing is, if that's what we're all doing, okay, so if we all agree that the Olympics is the next thing that we're doing, then let's make curriculum and classes that resemble that. Let's train. Let's start going around training people, and let's start getting people paid. You know, because at the end of the day, like if this is what we're doing as a community, then we have a ton of power. But if the only power is being exercised by the few to uplift these kids that are just being exploited as well, and I'm using the word exploitation now. If we're exploiting our scene just for a marketing scheme or just so I can keep getting gigs, then you're a violator, right? You remember that word? You're a
Yeah.
violator. Stop doing that. You know, that's violation. You're poaching our scene. And at the end of the day, man, I really want to say, let's push arts, let's push culture, let's push connection. And if that's hurts your opportunity, then there's a problem with you. So thank
Wow.
you so much. I do want to say that, man. And
Wow. Thank you.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully you'll see me. And if you don't see me, man, it was because of you, Smurf. Thank you so much for
Man.
ruining my career. But nah, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. Love you
Yo.
guys. Yo, don't share this podcast because you're gonna get me back.
Yeah, yeah. Don't share this podcast, y'all. Don't send the link to
No,
anybody.
erase it right now. Delete it. Delete it.
Man, Marlon,
No,
thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much, man.
Thank you so
I
much for
appreciate
joining us, man. Thank you. Really, really.
you. Yep.
You guys already know where to find Marlon. Go find
Yep.
Marlon. And if you guys enjoy the content, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you guys really want to help support the channel, you guys can do a donation. We'll see everybody next time. Peace. If you enjoy the content and you would like to help the channel further, you can become a channel member and be part of the Chat Steady Kings. It's only $2.99 a month, and this helps with keeping the channel alive and well. Most of the videos get a copyright claim, so the only way we can survive is through the channel members and super chats. That's right. If you want me to watch a battle, the best way to get my attention is through a super chat. Thank you all in advance. And now let's get back to the